Can you break down why people who live to 100 are the last people we should get advice from?
So genes don't play much of a role in how long you live up until about 80. So it really turns out what you do matters a lot, plus luck. We could talk about where luck factors in. But for those people that make it to 90s, 100s, they're called centenarians, and then super centenarians, it's virtually all genetic. And what every study of these people has demonstrated is they live long despite what they do, not because of what they do. And to your point, they are on average more likely to smoke, more likely to drink, less likely to exercise, and more likely to eat junk food.
Wow.
So all these people in like Italy who are like, yeah, you just eat pasta once a day. It's like, no, you just got some good genes.
You got great genes.
So does that account for blue zones as well?
Yeah, the blue zones is a totally interesting and different issue going on. This is a very controversial topic, and I fall on one
Wrong
side
place
of it.
to do it.
Yeah. So I actually think the whole blue zone thing's a bit of a myth.
Talk that shit.
And I think...
And ice baths, right?
It depends what you're doing them for.
To look cool with your shirt off?
Oh, then it's very good.
Yeah, okay. That is the ice bath, right? It's an excuse to show your body.
It's an Instagram thing. Yeah.
Thank God. Okay, keep going. Blue zones.
So a big problem with the blue zone things is the sort of record keeping of how long people live and birth certificate stuff. There's like a lack of birth certificate integrity. There are a lot of places that reportedly had very high degrees of longevity. And if you follow on the x-axis, like, when did birth certificates get introduced? Like, it vanished. The longevity
They're
vanishes.
just making up how old they are.
Yeah, a lot of that is going on. And then the truth of the matter is there's this whole kind of, people don't understand causality sometimes.
Yeah.
So if you went into the gym and you saw a whole bunch of super fit people running on treadmills,
You would think that
you could be lulled into the belief that Lululemon tights make you fit.
Right.
You could be lulled into the belief that fancy blue over-the-ear Apple headphones are good for muscle mass. Like you could create a story and not realize, no, it's actually all the exercise they're doing that's helping. And people who exercise also happen to wear Lululemon tights and Apple Pod, whatever, AirPods and blah, 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 blah. So the whole thing is just, we tend to infer too much causality from a lot of that stuff. Some of the things that are, assigned to the blue zones make sense. Like, does eating,
Diet,
healthier food make
right.
more sense than eating junk food? Of course it does. But to think that there are these really specific blue zones and we need to kind of go and figure out everything they're doing, because some of the ideas that are proposed are like exercise less because people in blue zones don't exercise much. And again, I just think that on its face, a lot of that stuff just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. So wait, the sauna cold plunge thing. Can you parse those two things, and can you explain why cold plunging is kind of bullshit?
Well, I wouldn't say it's bullshit. It's just not. It's not going to make you live longer.
Okay.
There's no evidence, at least, that sauna is going to make you live longer. Pardon me, cold plunge.
Can I ask one thing about cold plunge?
Yeah.
And I know nothing. I'm going to be like the most ignorant person in the audience. This is my experience in doing it. I wonder if it is have you ever gone like skydiving?
No.
Have you ever gone bungee jumping?
Nope.
He's trying to live forever.
Yeah, that's right. But then he's also like swimming with sharks to Catalina Island. So I don't know if I believe 100% live forever. But okay, sometimes you do these scary things, and then when you survive them, there's this like release of dopamine.
Yeah.
And it's a positive dopamine.
Yes.
And the positive dopamine makes you feel amazing in the moment. So in 60 seconds, without skydiving or bungee jumping, I get a positive dopamine that makes me feel amazing. Is it just the quickest way to feel good?
First of all, that's actually a great insight, and that's absolutely one of the two pieces of the benefit of cold plunge. So it turns out that our bodies want to preserve a dopamine homeostasis, which just means a balance. So anytime we have something that induces a little bit of discomfort, the body will try to compensate by making more of the sort of positive neurotransmitters, including dopamine. And that's why exercise, by the way, the pain you experience when you go out for a hard run. So cold immersion has been demonstrated to improve mood, although it turns out not in everybody. So there are a subset of people who just experience the pain.
Angry?
And they don't get any of the positive from it.
So you get nothing when you hop out of the
I don't like cold plunging. I get out and I go, I'm cold. My feet are kind of tingly. My feet are tingly, and that's it.
Yeah.
But I do love saunas.
So, and we'll talk about sauna in a second. The other thing that cold plunge does is it reduces inflammation. And there are times when that's a good thing to do. And there's times when you don't want to do that. So it turns out if your goal of resistance training is to add muscle mass, you actually don't want to get into a cold plunge after.
Because the inflammation is actually bringing blood to those areas.
The inflammation is part of the repair process. And it's the repair process that adds size and strength. So if a person is saying, hey, I want a cold plunge, but I don't want it to interfere with my strength training, then they kind of have to we don't know exactly how much separation, but I would say don't do it on the day of, to be safe.
So it shouldn't be this religious thing that people are doing every single day.
I mean, I don't think anything should be a religious thing we're doing every day, but if you're doing it every day thinking it's going to make give you immortality, it's not. And if you're doing it every day, then it might have some negative consequences, certainly with respect to resistance training. But again, for some people, for me, the mood effect is really profound.
Oh, it's amazing.
I absolutely love cold plunging.
Yeah, get in an argument with your wife, hop in a cold plunge, get out. You're like, my marriage is perfect. What were we even arguing about?
So, yeah, no, I think, and the other thing that's a little frustrating is nobody knows the exact dose response. So, like
how long you should be
at what temperature, right? So
it just feels like we're competing to go colder.
Yeah.
Like Joe just calls me a pussy every time. I'm like, dude, if it's not 60 degrees, I'm not getting in that fucking thing. But I do feel like guys are going, okay, I could be at 37. Dove is trying to be at, I forget what it was, maybe 45 for 2 minutes. But if you're not really getting any different.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've tried to figure this out so many which ways. Actually, this would be a great question for me to put to one of the research AI engines and see if they can just pull all the data. Because a lot of the studies will do long immersion at modestly cold temperatures, so 55 degrees for 30 minutes.
Right.
But I don't want to take 30 minutes. So I'm not going to do that. So it's got to be colder.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't have the answer. I do 42 degrees for 10 minutes.
You're in there for 10 minutes.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know. Is that better than doing 35 degrees for 5 minutes? I have no idea. But the reason I can't keep it at 35 is my wife won't get in it. And so then I'm just going to be turning the temperature up and down and up and down. So 42 is about the lower limit that she'll put her legs in. She won't
just
sit in that.
Go in together.
Yeah, but she'll stand in it and I'll immerse, I'll go to my neck.
I mean, you don't got to call her a pussy. You know what I mean? We could have just thought she was into her neck, too. Yeah. So wait, so you're both in. What are you doing for those 10 minutes? Are you like...
First of all, she will not even put her legs in for 10 minutes. So she'll be like, all right, I'm done with this. I'm going to go someplace else.
But do you get any benefit out of just putting
Yeah, you do. I think for her, because she's a runner.
You get to make your wife uncomfortable for 10 minutes.
She wants to, if she goes for a long run, she loves to get in there after and just get the inflammation on her legs, yeah.